YouTube? We're back with another episode of What the Hell Am I Doing? And we return with spicy sports betting. Today is UFC 268. Today, Canelo fights. It's kind of a big day in the fight world. And we're going to have to get right down to it because I got to run. I got to go to my niece's house. I have 3 nieces and 2 of them have their birthdays day after day. So we're doing their birthday parties. So got to get right down to it today. Last week I picked a couple of fights. I was correct on one of them, and I was wrong on the other one. What can I say? Peter Yan, he's the real deal, and I think we have to see that he has to fight Sterling again. Obviously, that has to happen, and we'll see what happens there. As for Jan Blachowicz, well, that was an interesting fight. It looked like he was uncomfortable a couple of times before he tapped. And, I'm not upset about it. This is why I like the fight game. This is what fights are great for, moments like this. And for Glover Teixeira, 42 years old, like I mentioned last week, I felt that his last opportunity to have a title shot, which was like 8 years ago, I thought that came late in his career. His skill set, his determination, everything he brought to the game, it took him a long time to get that chance, and it seemed like it was late. So for him to get another chance at 42 and to win the title from Jan Blachowicz, unbelievable. And, it couldn't have happened for a better guy. To a better guy, I should say. He's one of the true legends of the sport, and he's also one of those really cool, nice guys of the sport. So, it's nice to see him have that success late in his career. And I know I said last week, I don't know what happens if he wins, because what do you do with a guy that's 42? But he seems willing to bang. So, I'm happy for him. I think he really deserves it. And, he earned what he got. So today is UFC 268. I'm going to do 2 picks from this one. We got Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. I've been back and forth in this one. I really think that Michael Chandler could steal this fight somehow. I think his wrestling could be a threat. And Gaethje has lost some of these kinds of fights before in the past, especially against guys that bait him into brawling. Brawling can be very dangerous for him. He's hittable and he's been hit before, but the thing about Gaethje is he's very tough. And in those situations, a lot of the time he's been buzzed or nearly finished, but he's hung on them and battled his way through it and gotten out of it. He's faced a couple of losses since he's joined the UFC. He lost to Khabib, obviously, so he's had some of those ups and downs after winning his internship and everything. I think he's the more skilled fighter offensively. I think that one of the things that I think that Chandler can win with is wrestling, but I think Gaethje can win on his feet. I think Chandler might be a little more chinny. I think that Gaethje can take the legs out, because Chandler's got kind of a weird stance it's kind of a low power stance. I think if Gaethje can take those legs out early, Gaethje can control the fight whatever way he wants. And I'm not sure the wrestling of Chandler is going to be enough the more I think about it. So I'm going to bet one of my dried peppers. I'm not sure which one. I think I'll bet one of the Viper X's, because we haven't tried one of those dried. If I'm going to bet on Justin Gaethje winning. So if Chandler is to win this fight, I will take one of my dehydrated Viper X's as punishment. I think that Gaethje's going to outskill him. It could be an interesting fight. I won't be surprised if Chandler pulls it off with the wrestling. But I think it's not going to end up that way. I think it's going to stay on the feet, and I think that Gaethje will be able to take the legs away from Chandler and negate a lot of what he can do by doing so. So I'm going to pick Gaethje to win that fight. Canelo versus Caleb Plant. I gush about Canelo every time I talk about him. He's one of the best fighters of all time. Caleb Plant's good opposition. A lot of people are not familiar with him, obviously, but everybody's familiar with Canelo. I think that Canelo is very calculated in everything he does, in the ring and outside of the ring, and I think that his move to take all these titles as he moves up is very calculated and winnable with his skill set. So, he's probably the greatest of this current generation now, and I think tonight's going to be no different. So I'm going to bet, death shots on Canelo winning, because I think Canelo wins any way he wants to, And I think he's going to go after this guy. I think he's going to go after Caleb Plant, put it on him, and put him away. So I'll bet some of these if he loses, but I don't think he's going to, because Canelo's the best in boxing right now, aside from Tyson Fury. And then the main event of the UFC tonight, that's going to be an interesting fight too. We got Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman. They've already fought before. Usman broke Covington's jaw. Covington denies it now, but it was obvious as hell. If you look at the replays, you can see when the moment happened. You can see the golf ball in his jaw where it happened. So don't listen to that crap. He got busted up. I think it's an interesting fight. I think Kamaru has obviously fought, I think 3 or 4 times since they fought last, and he's shown significant improvement in all of those fights. He's demonstrated KO power. He's demonstrated a lot of things. He's an improved fighter and a skilled fighter. Colby has only fought once. He fought a washed-up fighter. He was chasing a fight with Dustin Poirier that didn't happen, and Dustin's not even in the same weight class. Colby's not a power fighter. He's a volume fighter. And I will say that the last fight, he put a lot of pressure on Usman and made a difficult fight for him. And he could have stole that fight if it went on for another round. But Usman, turned it up a notch and started beating on him and busted him up. I think a lot's happened since then. I think Usman's obviously improved significantly since then. I don't think he makes any mistakes that he made in that fight to allow that to happen. So I think Usman goes out there today and does his thing and controls Colby and, probably puts him away again. I don't think that Colby can beat him. He's going to need power to beat him. I don't think he's got it. It could be an interesting fight for a couple rounds, but I'm pretty sure Usman takes it in the end. And if not, I'll bet a quarter dropper of these on, I'm betting a quarter dropper of these on Usman winning the fight. So if Usman loses, then I'll do that as punishment. But that's what I think. So my picks for today, I'm picking Usman for a quarter dropper of Deathshots. I'm picking Canelo, I guess, we'll see. I'm not going to go crazy if both of them lose, but we'll say quarter dropper if one of them doesn't lose. So I'm not going to kill myself. I'm not going to do half a dropper if they both lose. I'm putting it out there right now because that would destroy me. And I'm not doing it for 30 viewers. I'm very disappointed with the view count I got last week, by the way, everybody. Not many people are even going to know what's going on today because no one watched the video. I'm not sure why. But yeah, so I'm not doing both death shots if both of them lose, but I don't think that's going to happen, so it doesn't matter. And like I said, I will do a dried Viper X if Chandler were to win that fight. All right, well, I guess that's that. Now it's time for the punishment for last week's stupidity. I'm a man of my word. It is what it is. So, congratulations, Glover Teixeira. You're a great champion, great UFC fighter, and I hope that you can get a couple of defenses in there to cement yourself as a great champion. Here we go. This is what happens when you're wrong. Oh, man. Oh. I did not want to do that today. Oh, that's like an instant 3 or 4. Oh, 5. It's an instant 4 or 5 on the back of my tongue. It takes your breath away. God damn it. That's what happens when you pick the wrong fight. So those guys better not lose today because I don't want to do this next week. I want to do a review. I want to do my boot review. I got a challenge I want to do. So hopefully there's no punishment next week. Oh, that's intense. It's already kind of mellowed out a bit, but that's intense. That's like a 3.5, 4 still. All right. Subscribe. Check out last week's video where I picked the fight wrong. Check out this video here. And we'll see you next week if I'm doing punishment or if I'm doing review. Thanks for tuning in. This sucks.